And I heard all the scuttlebutt coming back. And Mark Rosenberg, who was the executive, was holding a sheaf of notes in his hand before this screening, sort of brandishing them. So the screening starts, and one of the things that I fought very hard for was to get the Warner Brothers shield to come off the screen with the Max Steiner fanfare. And they didn't want it, and I said, well, I'm not really asking, and I just did it. And the moment that thing came off the screen, which, by the way, has stayed there ever since, people started yelling and screaming. And they stayed that way through the whole movie. And at the end of it, they wouldn't leave. And I looked over at Mark, and he was tearing up the notes and throwing them in the air. That was that. And not one of them had a plane ticket the next night to go to Toronto, which we were all due, where it was even bigger because it wasn't an industry screening. It was humongous. And then they got overconfident. They got so confident that they opened it in all these theaters, and it had no time to build, which it really needed because, it wasn't like it had Burt Reynolds going on, or it had this gentleman who'd never played a hero before, blah blah, Mary Steenburgen, no one ever heard of her, and they were so overconfident that they disseminated it so wide that the audience never had a chance to catch up with it, and they were so flummoxed by what happened that they even tried re-releasing it in Seattle or Portland, I can't remember, coming back because they just couldn't believe it. They pumped more money into it. It didn't lose money, but it
Jack the Ripper movie. So people were like over Jack the Ripper movies that year because James Mason, believe me, he had a real clinker, but that was a terrible movie. I can't remember what it was called.
Murder by Decree.
Was it?
Murder by Decree.
Do you remember that?
No.
It was not Murder by Decree.
It was. It was Murder by Decree.
He's probably right. He's irritatingly right.
In Mexico City, and it was packed because I went to the premiere.
The Murder by Decree?
No, this one.
Oh, this one. Nice to know it was packed in Mexico City.
Weirdly enough, movies find their audience. Some, of course, never.
And this
do.
one hasn't. This has been around. It was obviously built to last.
And why are you people sitting here, on a whatever night it is? I'm watching it, this late hour.
It holds up so well.
There you are. And what was the movie? You'll know this. What won the Academy Award that year?
79. I actually don't remember.
Jesus.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember. And this guy remembers everything. So all I'll say is, and you won't be looking at that at 10, 11 o'clock. Jesus, it's midnight. Okay, good night.
It's because you're both here.
Yeah. Well, that's sweet. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out this evening. Nicholas Meyer.